not to say you got to go and be the president, but to see your son, like my son, make it to the NFL, to see me mold him to that person to be successful.
I think the worst thing for a father was to see his son grow up.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Your son out there homeless begging for change or something like that. Like I say, that hurt for a father.
I want to make sure my son
that hurt for both parents.
Give it a good shot. Give chance a chance.
But that was instilled in him,
but you know what? The shit that was instilled in us was like, nigga, you can't allow yourself to be out there begging on the side of no street. You know what I'm saying? You don't allow yourself to get to the point where you weigh no 500 pounds. You feel me?
Because
like certain shit you don't allow yourself to do. You feel me? Like
grandma watch your kids. Like my grandma, my mama. She's not about to let y'all be hungry and say my grandkids was your mama.
Yeah,
my baby was out there hungry.
And she had my grandkids out here hungry. None of that shit.
Look at the world we live in. The world we live in today, things are more acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at like homosexuality is more acceptable now than it ever was. Yeah. You know, when I was coming up, I don't understand it, and they promote it on TV like it's the next best thing to do.
But the thing about like we were saying though, I don't give a damn what's acceptable.
I don't knock nobody.
What's acceptable in my house is the right thing. I feel like. It's I tell my kids, if you see somebody that's homosexual or however they portray themselves, you respect that person, but what's going on in here is a man is gonna be with a woman. I'm not saying I'm forcing that on. I'm not saying I'm forcing that on you. I'm just saying I feel like that's the right way to live as a young woman, as a young man. But if they grow up to do anything, I'ma still love them. I'ma still love them.
Because that's how you was raised. Okay, I raised my son with that same kind of value that I was raised when it comes to that. Me and him, Mickey made me about 6 years old. We on the way to the Galleria on the West Ham bus.
It's gone out.
Oh no, it's still on.
Look, we on the West Ham bus going to the Galleria, and on the way there, I see two guys get on the bus.
Yeah.
Two punks get on the bus.
Yeah.
I pointed out to my son. I said, "You see that? He maybe 7, 8 years old."
Yeah.
I said, "You see that, son? That's two men acting like a woman." Yeah. I say that's not how a man supposed to be.
Exactly.
Because that's how I was raised.
That's because you were raised.
That's how I was raised. But then on the way back, two drag queens get on the bus.
Yeah.
So I grabbed them again. Say, son,
now you gotta re-explain that.
You see that? That's two men dressed up like women.
Yeah.
That's not how a man is supposed to be.
Exactly.
Because that's how I was raised.
It's just the right
thing. So I explained to my son those values that was in the house that I was raised up in. But nowadays that shit is more acceptable.
I ain't gonna lie. Like my mama, you better not come to her house talking about you got no motherfucking girlfriend. Like me, no. My brother come there with a boy. No, it's unacceptable. Period. You feel me? And it's so unacceptable. And it's so unacceptable. And it's so instilled in us. It's like shit. If it is, then bitch, you better get it up out you, because these folks ain't having that shit around here. You feel me? Like whatever it is, you gotta let that shit go, because people ain't having it.
The thing about it, I'm gonna cut you off. Look, the thing about it, like, all right, you have a child, like, let's just say from a baby, like, you gotta do all the thinking for this person. And even as a child grows, like, you don't realize you still gotta do a lot of thinking for them, because they, as a mind, they haven't really matured to the level of, like, you can go, I go to my mama's house now, she ain't gotta preach about stuff she preached about when I was young, because it's already should be a maturity level. But until I got to that point, she kept straight. You know, your mama like, damn, mama, you already told me that. You keep telling me that, but it's a reason, because you see what I'm saying? She thinking for you, because she know this the right thing to do based off things she done live and the way she was raised.
told my son
when
just
I'm in a
yesterday.
fucked up situation, like when things, because I feel like now I can grow more from
And
things. You see what I'm saying?
You gonna agree when I say this here. I told my son just yesterday, I say, son, don't be scared to fail.
Yeah.
Because if you're scared to fail, you're not gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
You're not gonna try.
And what,
you know what I'm talking about? Don't be scared to fail.
And what can
get out
learn?
there and try it. Get out there and try, man. Try, and try again. You know,
it's like basically you're gonna learn more from failing than winning.
I tell you, that's only gonna make you stronger because you're gonna know not to make the mistakes again.
And then it's gonna be already embedded in your mind, like how this feel when I made this mistake, and then on top of you knowing what's going on, you'll have a more conscious mind of how to do
it. See, now that he's 19, I'm still teaching him, but I'm teaching him in another way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? It's not pencil paper structure type teaching. It's I'm talking to him as a man.
You know what? It's just basically more like this, like. Now it's still a form of parenting, but now it's more of an adult parenting.
Because
like,
you almost to that last
you
level.
can't come to me for everything you need. You gotta learn how to get out here and work. I'm not gonna give you nothing. You gotta earn.
Yeah.
Not to say I'm not gonna provide for you, but like my daughter, my stepdaughter, she got an allowance every week.
Yeah.
$15. You clean up the kitchen. I only got 2-3 dishes in there.
Yeah.
I said when we was coming up, we had well, you know what I mean? This for
Sunday.
free. Yeah. For free.
Yeah.
Then you get $15. But look, like I tell her every time, she ain't had no money going on the year. I'm not about to give you nothing. I'm going to buy you everything you need. I'm going to buy you new stuff. I'm going to buy you everything. But as far as you having money, I'm not giving it to you. I got you. Because I want you to know what it feels like when you don't work or be productive, what's going to happen in life. If I keep giving you money and you're not doing this, they're just going to build her saying, I can do whatever I want to do. But I ask her, like, how much money you got? Nothing, zero. I'm like, you don't want no more money? I'm steady testing her to be better. And I'm steady doing more better ways to train her, but that's the development of that child. But I can't throw her in there and force her to do it or whoop her to do it. Like I want her to have a mind of I gotta go do this.
You want her to want to do it.
Exactly.
Because when you want to do something, you're gonna put a lot of effort into it.
Exactly.
Versus when somebody forces you.
And you always gonna do better. You always gonna do better at something if you want to do it.
Yeah.
And that's just hands down. You always gonna do better at something if you want to do it.
Always.
And like I said,
better effort to it.
And wrapping up.
Whatever it is.
Exactly.
Whatever it is.
That's just like I said with my job and stuff, like, it's not that this wasn't a good job or I didn't appreciate it, because I appreciate any blessing I had come to my life in any form.
Yeah.
But I didn't like doing it for you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like doing it. Like I said, when you want to do it, now it could be a job. I feel a little less. I get to be home with my family, which I'm looking for a day job. Now I'm gonna want to go to work. It got to a point where I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to be here. So now I'm not as into it as me wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you got, like you say, you gotta want to do it.
You said right there. If it's something that you really don't want to do, you're not gonna be into it, man. And then you're not gonna take care of it and care for it.
Exactly, that's another thing.
The best that you can, you know, it's just like being in a relationship. If it's somebody you want to be in a relationship with, man, you're gonna do everything you can to keep that relationship tight.
Yeah. Well,
if it's somebody you really don't care about being with, you ain't gonna gonna take care of that.
Because once love comes into it, then it comes about caring about this person. Does this person care about me?
Yeah.
You know, like, but in the end, like I said, just basically saying, like, I forgot damn know what we was just saying. I forgot damn know what we was saying.
A whole lot of things.
That's why I say, like, but we wrapping it up, though. We'll wrap it up with
hey, man, it's Diamond Light Radio. We got Mickey in the building, my Lance, you know what I'm saying? Just a little conversation.
I'm gonna say something. I don't sit down too much. You know, sometimes I sit back and listen. But when y'all start talking about the kids,
but
I had to comment on that.
You walk by. Look, I say the number one thing. I say you got any man. All the woman got to do is listen. As soon as you walk by, you say, all she got to do is listen. I ain't even heard y'all in a conversation.
That was crazy.
I ain't heard nothing y'all was talking about.
Am I lying?
But
that was crazy.
Exactly.
Hey man, look, man, I appreciate y'all talking.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
All I gotta do is listen. All I gotta do is listen, goddamn.
You know,
And all y'all gotta do is listen to Diamond Life Radio. You know what I'm saying? We on these waves. We out here. It's Flight Club Entertainment. Dread Gang official. Stay tuned, Dread Gang. Mr. Cajun, my let's gonna be joining us for the Dread Gang update. You feel me?
It really needed to be said though.
Diamond Life Radio.